Hello, boys and girls. Today in reading, we are talking about the third type of questions that you can ask about fiction or nonfiction. And this one is about the text. So far we have done within the text, which means the answers are right in the book and you can find them. We have done beyond the text, which is where you have to look at the book and think to make a decision to answer those questions. But today, about the text means you're thinking about the book like a writer. So you're thinking about why did the writer do what he did? Okay, so you might have to think about why you do things the way you do when you write your books to help you answer some of these questions, okay? So you're thinking about the decisions and the thoughts that the author made while writing this book, okay? It's a totally different type of thinking. So here we go. Let's look at some of these questions, and then we're going to answer some of these questions using a book we already know. We're going to use Little Tree. And then I'm going to read you a new book, just like I've been doing with the other two types of questions. And you will answer the questions from the book that I read, not from Little Tree. Okay? So here we go. About the text. Is this a good title for the text? Why or why not? So sometimes in writing, we spend a whole day just thinking about a good title, don't we? And like for the turkey book, you guys came up with great titles. And it matched the story, and it was funny, and it might have to do with a little part of the story. So that's how you decide if it's a good title or not. Does it make sense? Why did the author pick it? So think about you when you picked the title for your turkey writing or other books that you've written. Okay? Look at this one. What did the character learn? So this is like the lesson in the story, and we've talked about that before. Remember when we watched the movie Piper with that little bird? And they made that movie so that you could learn what Piper learned. It's to teach you something, okay? So in books, when the character learns something, the author does that for a reason so that you will learn from what the author did, okay? Another one, what was the most important part and why? So we kind of think about this as an author, like if something was taken out of the story, like an important part, it would mess up the whole thing and then it would never be the same. That is always the most important part. And you think about that when you're writing because you want to make the book good and make sense and all of that, right? Another one here. How did the author start and end the story and why? So that could be something like a lead and a closing. Did they start with an introduction or a lead? Did they start by telling you some information to help you with the book? Okay, did they end by saying the beginning again? Those can all kind of be good things like this. Or also, why did the writer write this? Did they write it to make you laugh? Did they write it to tell you a story? Did they write it to teach you something? Did they write it just for fun? There's lots of reasons, okay? So let's apply some of these questions to our book, Little Tree. So remember, in the book Little Tree, the character is a little tree, and he is scared to lose his leaves for the first time. He's afraid to, so he doesn't do it. And all the other trees end up growing big because he still will not let go of his leaves, so he can't grow on, can he? No, he can't. And then finally, he gets brave and he lets go, right? And then he can start growing like the other trees around him, see? And he can catch up, right? Just like the other trees in the forest. So that's kind of a recap. So is this a good title for this text? Why? Well, the title is called Little Tree. Is this a good title? Yes, because the main character is Little Tree, and the whole book is all about him and something that he learned. So it is a very good title because it fits and it makes sense. And I just told you why, right? Okay, what did the character learn in the story? Well, let's think about what Little Tree did in the story. He would not let go of his leaves. Did that work out for him? No, it didn't. Because when he didn't let go of his leaves, he did not grow. He was scared. So he learned that if you let go of your fears, then you can grow and move on. Okay? And we can apply that to our lives. If we stop being scared of some things, maybe, then we can grow and move on, right? Maybe if you're scared of the high dive at the swimming pool, if you try it, then you can move on and do more things, right? We can apply that to our lives. What was the most important part of the story? That would be when he finally dropped his leaves, because at that point in time, the whole book changed, right? Then he was able to change and to grow. That's the most important part. The author put that in there to show you how it makes a difference when you tackle your fears. Okay? How did the author start and end the story? Well, let's look. Once there was a little tree filled with little leaves. So they started with an introduction of the main character, okay? Just to tell us who the book was going to be about. And then look, it ended with, once there was a little tree. And that's all it said. Because we know that he's not with little leaves anymore, right? So the author began and ended with once there was a little tree. To show you that this is a whole story about the little tree and his journey and his growth, right? Once there was a little tree. Good, so they did that on purpose. Why did the writer write this? That's the last question. I don't think you can see that. Let me move this down. The writer wrote this mainly to teach you a lesson, the same lesson as Little Tree, which is to let go of your fears so that you can grow and move on. Okay, you could also say they wrote this book for entertainment or enjoyment, just to give you a good book to read. Okay, but mostly to teach you a lesson. All right, so now I'm going to be reading you a story called Shoe Fly. And then we are going to be trying to ask a few of these questions of this book. And that's what you will be doing on Seesaw. You will answer a few of these questions about this book, Shoe Fly. All right? So here we go. Horse looked up. Bzzz. Shoe, said Horse. We are trying to sleep. Turn on the lights, said Cow. The fly will shoo. Horse turned on the lights, but Fly did not shoo. Bzz, bzz. Swish your tail, said Pig. The fly will shoo. Horse swished his tail, but Fly did not shoo. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Make some noise, said Sheep. The fly will shoo. Neigh, moo, oink, bah, buzz. Fly did not shoo, but the barn door opened. Ooh, look. Farmer! Uh-oh. Look at Farmer. Why aren't you sleeping? Asked Farmer. Ask Fly, said Horse. Farmer could not ask Fly. Fly was fast asleep. Zzz. Okay, so let's ask the first question. Is this a good title for the text? Why or why not? So the title is called Shoe Fly. Is that a good title? If yes, tell me why it's a good title. If it's not a good title, tell me why it's not a good title. Okay? Let's see. Let's go ahead. I'm going to ask a question that's honestly not on here that fits this book. Notice the bold words in this book. See them? Let's go back a little bit. See the bold words? They're the ones that are dark. See? Why did the author pick those words to make dark or bold? Why? Think about it. Why would you do that as an author? Why would you pick those words to make bold or dark? Okay? And then let's do this other one. Why do you think the author wrote this story? Are they trying to teach us something? Are they trying to entertain us or make us laugh? Are they just trying to tell us a story? What do you think? So that's 3 questions. 1, is this a good title and why, or why not? 2, why did the author pick those bold words? And 3, why did the author write this book? Okay, those are your 3 questions.